Good morning, my dear student. Today, in history, we are going to study the chapter The Rise of Nationalism in Europe. In our yesterday's lecture, we have studied about hunger, hardship, and popular revolts and the revolution of the liberals in 1848. And today, we are going to study about the unification of Germany and Italy. Children, after 1848, nationalism in Europe moved away from its association with democracy and revolution. Nationalist sentiments were often mobilized by the conservatives for promoting state power and achieving political domination over Europe. German unification. Now, children, let's see the process of unification of Germany or the different stages of the unification of Germany. The first attempt for the unification of Germany was made in 1848. Nationalist feelings were widespread among middle class Germans who tried to unite the different regions of the German Confederation into nation states governed by an elected parliament. This liberal initiative to nation building was, however, repressed by the combined forces of monarchy and the military, supported by the large landowners of Prussia. From then on, Prussia took the initiative and leadership of the movement for the national unification. Otto von Bismarck, the chief minister of Prussia, with the help of the Prussian army and bureaucracy, carried out the process further. Children, he fought 3 wars over 7 years against Austria, Denmark, and France, which ended in Prussian victory. This victory completed the process of German unification. In January 1871, the Prussian king Kaiser William I was proclaimed German emperor in a ceremony held at Versailles. On the bitterly cold morning of 18 January 1871, an assembly comprising of princes of the German state, representatives of the army, important Prussian ministers, including the chief minister Otto von Bismarck, gathered in the unheated hall of mirror in the palace of Versailles to proclaim the new German emperor headed by Kaiser William I of Prussia. The nation building process in Germany had demonstrated the dominance of Prussian state power. The new state placed a strong emphasis on modernizing the currency, banking, legal and judicial system in Germany. Prussian measures and practices often became a model for the rest of the Germany. Children, once again I am repeating the unification of Germany. Listen it very carefully. Germany, can the army be the architect of a nation? Nationalist feeling were widespread among the middle class Germans who in 1848 tried to unite the different regions of the German Confederation into a nation state governed by an elected parliament. Prussia took the leadership of the movement for the national unification. Its chief minister, Otto von Bismarck, followed the policy of blood and iron, was the architect of this process carried out with the help of Prussian army and bureaucracy. Three wars over 7 years with Austria, Denmark, and France ended in Prussian victory and completed the process of unification. In January 1871, the Prussian king Kaiser William I was proclaimed German emperor in a ceremony held at Versailles. On 18 January 1871, an assembly gathered in unheated hall of mirrors in the palace of Versailles to proclaim the new German emperor headed by Kaiser William I of Prussia. Now, unification of Italy. Children, like Germany, Italy too had a long history of political fragmentation. Italians were scattered over several dynastic states as well as the multinational Habsburg Empire. During the middle of the 19th century, Italy was divided into 7 states, of which only one, Sardinia Piedmont, was ruled by an Italian princely house. Children, out of 7 states, only one, that was Sardinia Piedmont, which was ruled by the Italian princely house. The north was under the Austrian Habsburg. The center was ruled by Pope and the southern regions were under the dominations of Bourbon kings of Spain. Even the Italian language had not acquired one common form and still had many regional and local variations. In 1830s, Giuseppe Mazzini made efforts to unite Italy by forming a secret society called Young Italy, which failed. The failure of the revolutionary uprising, both in 1831 and 1848, meant that the mantle now fell on Sardinia Piedmont under its ruler King Victor Emmanuel II to unify the Italian states through war. In the eyes of the ruling elites of this region, a unified Italy offered them the possibility of economic development and political dominance. Now, children, Chief Minister Cavour, who led the movement to unify the regions of Italy, was neither a revolutionary nor a democrat. Like many other wealthy and educated members of Italian elite, he spoke French much better than he did Italian. But through his tactful diplomatic alliance with France engineered by him, Sardinia Piedmont succeeded in defeating the Austrian forces in 1859. Apart from regular troops, a large number of armed volunteers under the leadership of Giuseppe Garibaldi joined the fray. In 1860, they marched into South Italy and the Kingdom of Two Sicilies and succeeded in winning the support of local peasants in order to drive out the Spanish ruler. In 1861, Victor Emmanuel II was proclaimed King of United Italy. However, much of the Italian population, among whom rates of illiteracy were very high, remained blissfully unaware of liberal nationalist ideology. The peasant masses who had supported Garibaldi in the southern Italy had never heard of Italia and believed that L'Italia was Victor Emmanuel's wife. Children, once again, I am repeating the unification of Italy. Listen it very carefully. Italy was divided into 7 states, of which only one, Sardinia Piedmont, was ruled by an Italian dynasty. Ideas of Italian unification, first given by the Giuseppe Mazzini through his secret society called Young Italy. After his failed revolutions in 1831 and 1848, the lead was taken by the King of Sardinia, Victor Emmanuel II. Chief Minister of Sardinia, Cavour, led the unification process by diplomatic alliance with France to defeat Austria and unify its northern territories. In the southern part, Giuseppe Garibaldi led the movement by involving local peasant support to drive out the Spanish rulers. Thus, the process of unification as completed with the crowning of Victor Emmanuel II as the King of Italy in 1861. Children, these are the leaders who had played very important role in the unification of Italy. They are Mazzini, Victor Emmanuel II, Cavour and Garibaldi. Children, that's all for today. Thank you and have a nice day.